Alright, been given the good word, we're apparently live. So, what up y'all? This is Sparkster. I'm Drakodan. I'm going to be taking you through this run today. With me today I've got a good friend Drakodan helping me on commentary. Was just on earlier with some runs. Say hi, Dag.
Hello. I am Drakodan. And this is another game with a lot of luck.
He's really good at this game as well. He's better than me at this game. I don't know why they got me running this game, but I'll try. I'll do it. So I'll be trying to do the run.
Practiced at this game than me.
Dagran's going to help me present this run, so thank you very much for helping me out here, Dag. And I'm going to get back to the title screen and going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
All right, so right before he actually went to the title screen, you saw some control options there, and yeah, this is the beautiful thing about the Super Nintendo controller. It's got a lot of buttons to use, and they really work so well with this game. They really take advantage of the L and R buttons, which make full use of these rolling attacks here, and the rolling attacks are one of a number of ways you can attack bosses and enemies with. It's one of many different attack options. In fact, the rolling attack is one of the highest damage dealing options you've got. You have the regular sword slash, which I believe does about 3 damage. The projectile, which... Or actually, no, I think the regular sword slash is 4 damage, and the sword projectile is like 3.
Yeah, the projectile's 3, and the physical sword is 4.
And then the rolling attack is 5, and then you have the rocket boost attack, which does 6. So it's carefully laid out sort of attack damage values that you have. So this is the first boss in the game. This first stage, fairly quick. There is a bit of luck involved in him, too, in how he attacks.
Yeah.
You don't have much health to really work with. You don't really get to pick up a whole lot and regenerate a whole lot. So you do have to be careful about taking too many hits. But the important thing is that life bonus there. The less life you have at the end of a level, the less points that need to be accumulated, thus saving time in frames. So now we move on to the second stage here, and this is the first unique stage in normal and higher difficulties. In the easy difficulties, you play through certain stages, and then in the normal difficulty, there's some unique stages you don't play on the easy difficulty. And this is the first one. It's a very difficult level, especially for a second level, as dying at any point during this stretch here that Drakodan is currently on right now will set him back quite a bit. And health, like I said before, not very generous about giving you a whole lot of health. And you have to actually deal with this boss, and he is a lot of luck involved with him as well. Usually the safe play is to just stand on the top there and do sword slashes. Obviously, you won't. Generally, the fastest way of dealing with a lot of these boss fights is to sort of sword slash and press and hold the attack button, and then do a rocket charge into him, or just spamming rolling attacks while doing the charging up of the rocket boost, and then rocket boosting while doing all the rolling attack stuff, which is an option if you do continuously take damage. And I guess since we're on this auto scroller here, we can probably go ahead and explain that. So every time you use the rolling attack, you gain a bit of exhaustion. And so if you do rolling attack over and over again, Sparkster's going to be stunned for like about 3 seconds. So you can't really do the rolling attack continuously. But if you take damage, that rate of exhaustion is completely reset to 0. So if you continuously take damage, you can spam rolling attacks over and over again. It's pretty nice like that.
Yeah,
also, don't worry, this auto-scroller, there's nothing really going on.
Yeah, it's the one spot in the game where it's fastest to do absolutely nothing. There's nothing you can do to speed this section up, and playing the section can potentially only cause the game to lag when you destroy stuff, so I believe it's fastest to use no inputs here. I'm losing health, but I'm going to get it all back halfway through the stage.
Yeah, the stage is actually, unlike the previous two, fairly generous about giving back health.
Oh, nice hit there, though. Yeah, those bombs do have random trajectories, but I will still have full health pickups here, because I'm going to get 4 hearts of regen here.
Alright. So, yeah. This is pretty much an auto-scroller level, although at the very end is another horrific luck fight. Yeah, very easy to die in, and especially on normal versus easy mode, there's more body parts of this boss that you have to actually destroy.
Yeah. As easy as it is to die on this boss, though, it's also, ironically, the only part of the run where you can afford to die, and it can be optimal to die, since you can finish this boss with 0 health.
Yep. Because even when you die, you still have control of this mechanical bird that you're riding. If you attack while you're riding this mechanical bird, it will actually shoot out a projectile of its own. And you're able to stand up with this mechanical bird, too, in order to hit the boss. And he actually is going to try to open up the damage on this fight by doing that. And this is what I'm talking about with abusing the damage values in order to reset the exhaustion rate. So you can just constantly roll attack, roll attack, roll attack to put away the first phase, and that was a good fight.
That was a much better fight than I had in practice just now. Yeah.
So that's a relief. Obviously, like Draco said before, you can end that fight with no hearts, and you'd still be fine because even when you die, it takes a little bit of time for the for the game to actually reset you back to a checkpoint when you die, because the animation takes a little bit to play out. And now we're into the... I guess it's a submarine. I don't know.
I didn't quite make that little movement quirk. It's not a huge time loss, but I just love getting the tiny little movement details there that look really smooth.
Yeah, I believe this entire stage is all on global cycles with some of these jet streams, or jets. Yeah, these air packs that just shoot out and damage you. So the more optimally you do this stage, the better.
They feel luck-based to me, yeah. So I don't think it's like a screen cycle or anything, because, you know, you should be moving pretty much the same every time, so they should be consistent, but they never feel like they have a pattern to me.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like it had something to do with the timing, or like sometimes I notice I'm a little bit slower based on the music, but, you know, it's a small thing. Anyway, this boss fight, like before, balancing out those rolling attacks, taking damage to the body itself, and then precisely using the rocket boosts when he needs to in order to get the optimal damage on that fight. Well, I don't know if that's optimal damage, but
that third phase was really fast, though. That's one of the better phase 3s I've had on that boss.
Yeah, it was a good fight. It was a very good fight. Alright, so the desert, the pyramid. Yes. Oh, yes, the pyramid. So normally this is supposed to be a bit of a puzzle, but if we just stay right there and reopen that door, yeah, we get past the puzzle part. There's actually a section in that puzzle where you can get your controls reversed, and that's a very fun section.
Yeah,
You get stuck there a while.
especially when you haven't practiced it and you don't know what the actual puzzle solution is. I may or may not have accidentally done that in a previous marathon run and lost several minutes to needing to figure out how to get out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Yeah, so that mini boss that Draco was fighting there earlier, it's a bit of an annoying fight, especially in the second phase, because the arms actually sometimes do block your rocket charge there. And now we got the real problem of this stage, which is this desert worm here. And sometimes he likes to dig into the ground like he just did there, but oh yeah, this is a dangerous health value. The desert worm does a full heart each time he connects a hit. But the main thing about this fight is that when he digs into the ground, you'll lose roughly about, what's it, like 4 or 5 seconds?
About 5 seconds each time, yeah. And although that was a bad fight, I at least didn't die.
Yeah, dying is the worst possible thing that can happen. And it's very easy for that to happen, too.
Yeah, like when you're trying to use your health as a resource to go faster, it's easy for like one failed hit to just snowball into a potential loss, especially considering whenever you do a rocket boost, it resets your iframes as well. So if you just took a hit, it's easy to take a second hit immediately.
Yeah. But yeah, dying on the desert worm would have put him back at the halfway point of the stage, which is a fairly... I mean, it's a very short level, but that's still quite a ways back. It's a huge time loss. All right, so
nice.
I don't even know what to call this town. We'll call it the wannabe Sonata Planet.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Ristar Town.
It's the Ristar Town. Yep. Music Town. Yeah, shout-outs to Ristar. Shout-outs to Ristar. I know it's not a Super Nintendo game. It's a beautiful game, though. All the same. Just like this one is. Yeah, so a lot of this... So it was actually pretty important. Certain sections... Much of this stage is fairly straightforward. There's a number of laggy sections, and it's all about just getting certain jumps and that are pretty tight. And just mitigating lag. This fight is really dangerous, though. Also luck-based, but, yeah. Draco's actually getting really good luck. You want to see that kick, because it does, like, no damage. This little puny kick. He can do a whole bunch of things in that fight. Like, he's got his own Cycle Crusher, which does, like, what, 2.5 hearts of damage?
I think it's 2 hearts, and again, since you can take, like, 2 hits back-to-back, you can instantly lose over half your health bar to that in the worst-case scenario. Yeah, it's pretty bad. The kick is definitely what you want to see, because it does little damage, as Dagran said, but it also just keeps him in the corner so you can keep consistently inflicting damage. Like, that was a very good fight, RNG-wise.
Yep. And going back to that point about the rocket boost, taking taking an additional accidental hit on that Psycho Crusher charge attack that Axel has. When you do a rocket boost, and if you take a damage and then you perform a rocket boost, it will reset your iframes. So that's what Drakodan is talking about there, and that's what you. So if you ever play this game and then you suddenly take 2 quick hits, and you think that seems kind of bull. That's how the game works. That's why you take 2 extra hits like that. It's because you performed a rocket boost after taking a hit. It just resets your iframes. It's a really strange sort of mechanic that you otherwise might not know about.
Yeah, when we reach the last boss in the run, I'm going to give an attempt at a strat which finishes the fight very quickly, but risks that happening if your timing is wrong on basically every hit that you're doing on the fight, or nearly every hit that you're doing on the fight. It has the potential to save a few seconds over how the fight is generally done at top level, but it's very difficult to perform, and yeah, it can just throw the run away. Like, if I was on world record pace, I don't think I would attempt it because I'd be more scared of losing the run from making a mistake. And speaking of losing the run on a boss fight, we're coming up to the stage 7 boss, which is like, even casuals hate this boss. I've seen so many people talk about casually playing this game and saying, oh, this is such a good game, but this one boss is awful and it ruins the game.
Yeah, it's kind of a fair bit of criticism because, you know, you don't really get the chance to be able to learn the controls. Like, you kind of are just thrusted into this mech, and then here's the fight. Figure out how to control this thing and do damage to this fight. Oh, and Axel can absolutely just destroy you in this boss fight. It's, you know, it's fair criticism to a degree.
Yeah, like, you have the same mech as Axel, but, like, yeah, you as the player don't necessarily know how to play the fight, and Axel, by contrast, can play like a tass. It's not fair.
But that being said, thanks to Drakodan, a lot of research had been put into this fight, so we know a lot more about how this fight operates and how to get the most damage we can out of this boss. It is also a luck fight in its own way. That being, it can waste time by way of playing the defensive mode pattern.
Yeah, probably the most accurate way to put it is that there's pseudo RNG in this fight, which sounds weird, but I think that's the best way to describe it. And now I am going to fully focus. This is full serious mode for me, because if I die here, it's a straight minute time loss.
Yeah, it's a big one. So the thing is, once Axel reaches 25% health, he will eventually... Oh, this is an early time to get aggressive. Okay, so sometimes this can happen with, Oh,
yes!
Oh my god, that was scary.
Just go all in. Put your cards on the table. Sometimes you'll win. Most of the time you'll lose, but sometimes you'll win.
That's so okay. So the thing is, that pattern there where Axel gets aggressive at the start is random as well. Yeah, I think it's the fastest pattern you can get, him being aggressive like that.
It is, yeah, because you don't waste any time waiting for him to become vulnerable. So, like, I have my splits open right now, and that saved 4 seconds over my stage 7 in PB.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's extremely scary getting that pattern.
Oh, I'm further along. I'm not paying attention, apparently. I miscounted how many missile cycles that was.
Yeah. So yeah, the missiles there, if they smash you, I mean, it's automatic death. So yeah, very very scary stretch there. So now Drakodan's coming up to the hardest mini boss. I mean, this in general is a very scary level. Almost every fight is scary, aside from that one Drakodan just killed there. But the core here, sometimes you can take an accidental hit to these blue crystals here, and they do a full heart of damage when you want to be taking damage to these rings, because they only do half a heart of damage. Like right there was a full heart. The entire goal is to get rid of the blue crystals.
That was still a really fast fight, actually.
Yeah, that was really, really good fight. Yeah, so that's one of the scary fights out of the way, and now it's just the final boss, which for me that is the scariest fight, and actually probably in the entire game. Very, very easy to die on this last fight.
I'm actually, like, just as scared of these last corridors as I am of the last boss, because you don't have any health pickups between there and the last boss, so any hits that you take, it leaves you with fewer health for this fight.
Yeah, you need every bit of health you can, because every damn hit you take to this boss is the full heart. So, yeah, this is the last boss. Time is when it's going to be the last hit, by last hit. I think you have control of the timer anyway, though.
Yes, I do. But this, spoiler, this attempt is probably a death, we'll see, but this is not so good.
Yeah, you do not want to see that fire breath. If you see the fire breath, you're pretty much forced to...
And there's the double hit. I released the boost at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a safer approach to this fight. Now, like, I wanted to give one attempt at the, like, fastest possible fight, but I kind of botched it almost right away, and then at that point it's like, well, this is not really going. So I'm going to take it a bit safer this time.
Yeah, on top of the luck involved in how dangerous the fight is with these attacks, you know, if you see too much lightning, there's a lot of lag involved, so it's like, it can waste time in that regard. It's just, there's a lot of layers to this fight, and that's what makes it so scary. Me especially.
Time. That's time. 2002. Barely not a sub 20, but still pretty decent overall considering I had a death on the last fight.
GG. And that is Sparkster. That is Sparkster on normal mode. So, yeah, there's multiple difficulties. I did sort of talk about some of the differences between easy and normal there. There's a couple of unique stages that are omitted in easy difficulty. You got to see most of the stages. In hard difficulty, it's just one extra boss fight right after this boss fight. And I guess less health items?
Less health pickups, yeah. Like, the Rocket Knight Adventures, the difficulties have you take, like, way more damage, but in this game, it just seems to be like smarter AI and fewer health pickups from what I've seen. And for going through the stages with all the trash mobs as well, there's like more enemies in the stages as well on occasion.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the major differences there. But you got to see pretty much the meat of the entire game with this run. So good job. Good job. It was a really good run.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the congrats, and thank you very much for joining me, dude. I greatly appreciate it. We've got to hang out more. I've got to come back to, you know, Planet Chaos calls and all that, and actually socialize a bit more, especially when I've got ESA coming up. And thank you very much to SNES Super Stars for having me once again. SpeedGaming, all the staff involved, really glad you all continue to put these events on, and I'm very grateful to be able to contribute to these events, so thank you all very much, everyone involved in this, and all the viewers. Just everyone amazing. Thank you all so much.
And thanks for putting on the hard work for this. Y'all deserve big major kudos.
Absolutely. So I've got the schedule up right now, and it says the Super Ghouls and Ghosts on next, and that is a run. That is a game. So don't go anywhere. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Speaking of games I've ran in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know how evil this game is.
Yeah, it's a good run though, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna take my leave and let you all get set up for this run. So again, thank you all everyone, and I'll catch you all later.
Catch you later.